Happy Monday. Welcome to another episode of the Sneak Preview, Filmgazm Productions podcast that follows the current film calendar. I'm Connor Eyzaguirre.
And I'm Caleb Leger.
And today, we could have picked any one of this weekend's releases to discuss in detail. It's kind of a lukewarm weekend of disappointment. A lot of films that looked great on paper didn't quite translate, with a couple exceptions.
Yeah, we were talking before we recorded, and I guess the better word, it just feels like, and this tends to sometimes happen, it's pre-October. There's a lot of big horror releases getting ready to come out, but there's nothing to fill that void theatrical-wise until we hit October when everyone's waiting. So it's just like, it's that weird time where like they just kind of put stuff out there to fill the weekends until we finally get to like, okay, let's put out all the big scary movies we've been waiting for.
And also, we're kind of like not quite in awards season. So there's a lot of dramas that are trying to be Oscar bait that aren't going to make the cut. So that's also what we're getting.
September is weird. Like, to me, like the first half of September, that's like the leftovers of summer season.
Yeah.
Still got some big stuff coming out. And then there's like the back half where it's like you said, a mixture of like, not quite going to make the cut for the Oscars, but it's also not, like I was saying, not October yet, so we don't want to release this horror. Like, it's weird. Unless you're James Wan, you just say, fucking, I'm releasing Malignant now.
Yeah.
He has that clout, so it's a little different there.
Yeah. Well, we ended up going with Prisoners of the Ghostland because we figured that would be the most interesting one to talk about. It's one we both saw, and we get to talk about our boy Cage again. So that'll be fun.
Cage. There's a what's it called? A Tenacious D song where he's always like, you keep talking about Rage Cage. Obviously not Nicolas Cage, for those who listen to Tenacious D. I'm fully aware he's talking about, but I always, as soon as I think of Cage, I just think of that song.
Fucking great. We'll also tell you our thoughts on CRY MACHO, COPSHOP, The Eyes of Tammy Faye, and My Son. The only one neither of us could get to was Blue Bayou, but maybe in the future that'll come up. I don't plan to just write that off. I do want to see it. I just didn't want to go to the movies 3 times this weekend.
I did see good like reviews posted for Blue Bayou. I saw a lot of good stuff said about it.
Yeah. And I do want to talk, and I have a feeling that is one that's going to make some Oscar buzz potentially. So I will get to it.
If the rumors about Pig are true, then I don't see how this one couldn't make the cut. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
before we go back to the wacky wild world of Nicolas Cage, though, let's see what happened last week in film. Last week in film. We've got 4 trailers to talk about today. First up, West Side Story, Steven Spielberg's wildly unnecessary remake of the 1967 classic musical, hits theaters December 10th. Who in the hell was asking for a remake of West Side Story?
This is a film where, like, how should I word this? I understand why Spielberg wanted to do it personally. He probably has a humongous love for this movie and just wanted to do his take. But like I think I put in my review way back for Ready Player One. For a long time, personally, I was getting kind of tired of the Oscar bait Spielberg, that it seemed like it was the only part of his career he was focusing on for years.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, I do like a lot your Oscar bait films. Don't get me wrong, you make really good ones. It's like, but where's that fun Spielberg? And that's what I got with Ready Player One. I remember thinking like, oh my God, finally, are we getting fun Spielberg again? Are we going to get him doing this stuff? And then I hear he's doing this. And then his next upcoming film I've been hearing about, I'm like, apparently not. Apparently that was like a quick one-time thing. And we're going back to the ward of like trying to really appease the Oscars. I'm like, Spielberg, I understand why you want to do West Side Story, but can I get the childish joy I got with Ready Player One again?
He's got 2 statues. Like, who's he trying to impress now? I feel like this, you mentioned that he has an affinity for it and he wanted to do his own take on it. I mean, personally, I've often, Back to the Future is my all-time favorite movie. I've talked about that many times. Not once have I ever thought I could do it better. I've never once thought that. And I think that the fact that he is thinking that is a little arrogant.
Yeah. Or it's, like I said, I do have some like you were talking about that a little arrogant. I have my own like slightly personal issues with Spielberg, usually stemming from how he could easily, squash a lot of the whole fucking poltergeist bullshit, but he won't. Um, but yeah, I'm with you. It's like, okay, even if you do love it, do you need to make it? And his next project is, to me, his next project is like as self-indulgent as this film is.
Yeah, telling his own story. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I'm sorry, I think Ready Player One was like a fluke in his later career. Like it was like the one time we get to see him give us that 80s nostalgia. I'm not saying I need the guy to stick with like what he did in the 80s. I'm just saying like I like it when he varied it up. I liked it when he was able to give us a Saving Private Ryan and then give us something like, I know this is a decade before Private Ryan, but something like Poltergeist, or not Poltergeist, that was Toby Hooper. He produced Poltergeist. I said it out loud and I was like, oh yeah, no, it's E.T. E.T. It's the movie I'll use, or Charles or something. You know what I mean? Like he was able to switch to both, and I don't like how he's only focused on one.
True. But what do Poltergeist, E.T., and Saving Private Ryan have in common?
They were good.
They were original.
Oh, I was like, okay. I was like, good movies?
They were good movies, but they were also new movies. They were original. I don't need Jaws 5. I don't want Jaws 5. I also don't want, remakes of classics. I think I don't even like West Side Story. And yet I'm like, we don't need another one. Leave it.
Yeah. Nothing about when I saw it advertised online real quick. I was like, all right, I've seen it because I know we're going to bring it up for the show. Then they play in theater, and I was sitting there going, oh, God damn it. I really don't want to see this fucking movie.
That's going to be our last sneak preview of the year, probably. I think I looked at the calendar. I think, we're ending this fucking thing with West Side Story.
I was like, it's not coming out the same weekend as Matrix because obviously I know the primary.
Yeah, that's the last one. I get the December movies mixed up a lot. It's going to be a loaded month.
There's a lot of stuff to see for Christmas, and all of it, minus the Spielberg movie, is coming to your home as well, folks.
Yeah, except for Spider-Man.
And Spider-Man, but Marvel's not worried.
Did you see the just to sidetrack something I didn't bring up in my last week in film? Have you been following the Andrew Garfield leak?
Did he finally leak that he is in the movie?
No, there was a video or a screenshot or something of him very clearly in the costume on the green screen set got leaked, and he has been doing a press tour, insisting that it is a Photoshop, that he has nothing to do with this movie, that audience is going to be disappointed.
Okay, I haven't seen that photo, but I've seen him go hard on the press circuit saying he's on the movie. Yeah. And honestly, look, I'm one of those that if he ultimately was in the movie, I actually wouldn't care. And it's nothing against Garfield. I just personally didn't like his take on Spider-Man. Sue me. But if you want people to believe you're not in it, pull the Tobey Maguire route. Notice he hasn't said shit. He hasn't said a word, to the point that if he wasn't in it, I wouldn't be surprised because he hasn't said anything. But if you are going to vehemently deny your involvement in this film constantly, you're in the fucking movie. You won't have to be working this hard to say you're not if you aren't in the fucking movie.
Yeah. I'm going to do a very crude comparison, but let's say you were accused of fucking a monkey. And your decision is to go on every news channel and newspaper and journalist and say, I didn't fuck that monkey. That is going to make everyone on earth think you definitely fucked that monkey. So Andrew Garfield needs to stop fucking the monkey and just go away for a bit.
To quote an ex-president, I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Yeah. Just, Andrew, we all kind of know you're in this movie. If you're not, okay. But you got to stop trying to convince us because it's not working.
It's not. You need to do the Tobey Maguire oath of silence here and just not say a fucking word.
Unless, of course, Toby happens to run into a fan who straight up asked him, are you in the movie? And he just is fucking going, yeah. He's telling people individually who run into him, yeah, I'm in it.
He doesn't give a shit. He's like, yeah.
I guess NDAs only work if you're on camera. So
I was thinking of when we're talking about this whole don't say anything. I think it was Bill Burr made the joke about Sandusky and denial. He's like, if anyone ever pauses when they say they didn't do it.
Yeah, that was Jim Norton. Yeah.
It was Jim Norton. Okay, I was like, is it Bill Burr or Jim Norton? I can't remember who. I like both a lot. So
yeah.
I was like, yeah, he's like, if they ever pause when they're saying they didn't do it, they fucking did it. Yeah.
If you are asked if you are sexually attracted to children, here's a great thought. Say no.
If you go, well, you are.
That's great. Yeah, I know we're making a lot of fucked up comparisons to Andrew Garfield being in Spider-Man. We're not calling him a pedophile, and we're not calling him a monkey fucker. We're just saying. I've seen the video. It's not Photoshop. He's in this fucking movie.
Look, man, as soon as I saw that they're doing the villain thing, I was like, they're going to be in the movie. Like, knowing Marvel, they're going to be in the movie.
This is a big, fat, open secret. And yeah, I think he should just, we've only got a few months. Just shut the fuck up. Just go away.
Yeah, like, what is it? I saw the fucking dumb rumor about someone apparently spotted Tom Hardy in a Spider-Man No Way Home hat that only the production and cast got. And he's obviously in the movie. And guess what? Tom Hardy has not commented on that fucking rumor since it leaked, which makes me go, maybe he's not in the movie. Maybe they just gave him the hat.
Maybe.
Amazing what not commenting does. Like, people just leave it alone. But the moment you just keep bringing it up like a crazy man, like, another fucking movie, I swear. All right, Andrew.
He's not just saying, I'm not in the movie. He's saying fans everywhere need to accept that they are going to be disappointed, but like with a little smile on his face. Like, dude, come on. I know what you got me for Christmas. Stop it.
Dude, I wonder how mad Marvel is with this whole Spider-Man stuff, because it's been so much shit's getting leaked and just get put out there. You think Marvel's just sitting there going,
well, the thing is, so much has gotten leaked that it's hard to separate what's real and what isn't. And it really all kind of started with Alfred Molina just going on, and saying like, oh yeah, I'm de-aged. I'm playing the same Doc Ock I played back in the day. It's a great time. Like, he's the guy who started this fucking ball rolling, and Marvel's had to just, put the fucking snake back in the bottle ever since.
I feel like for them, December cannot come soon enough. They're just like, they weren't worried about Shang-Chi or Black Widow or upcoming Eternals because no one's giving a shit, apparently.
I haven't heard dick about Eternals.
Yeah. They're probably just sitting there going, can we just get to December when this fucking film is out? God. Even the Hawkeye trailer came out, and I've seen people talk less about that, which I think looks awesome, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah.
People are talking less about that, and then but it's all been on Spider-Man. If it's Andrew Garfield going to finally confirm his denials. It's like, God damn it.
My favorite one was JB Smoove just casually mentioning how much fun he had working with Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield. That was my favorite one because nobody did anything about that. He's not big enough to monitor. So nobody gave a shit. But he's like, yeah, Andrew was great. Toby was great. It was a great time.
One of the issues, like, Marvel will probably spend so much time monitoring Tom Holland because of past experiences. That there was a blind eye left to everyone else, and as soon as Alfred Molina said his comment, they just went, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, they were so busy trying to plug up this one leak in the dam that they didn't look at all the tiny ones popping out around it.
I wonder if like Tom Holland just sits there going, "And you guys thought I was going to leak it? Oh, wow, who's wrong now?"
Oh boy, I'm so excited for this movie, but this, like, the lead up is insane. Just everything that's coming out. I keep hearing, oh, Venom's clearly in it. Oh, Spider-Man's clearly popping up in Venom. Like, where is this clearly? Like, what are you talking about?
First off, if you focus on Spider-Man's popping up in Venom 2 and it's a 90-minute movie, okay. All right. I'm sure they'll fit it in with the fucking Carnage trailer that they got to fucking jam pack in there. Yeah. If anyone doesn't know, I'm slightly losing hope on Venom. Let There Be Carnage, because there's like the lead up to this is echoing the first movie big time, and I'm like, ew, it's just going to be either on that same level where the actors keep everything together, or are we in for not something less?
Well, Andy Serkis came out and said that Venom 3, oh yeah, we're crossing over with Spider-Man. We're just going to ease into it. Again, just nobody gives a fuck anymore. But anybody can say whatever they want, and as long as Feige doesn't, take it off the internet or confirm or deny anything. Everything is speculation until the day.
True. And that's probably what like Marvel knows is like they just look at Feige and Feige's like, look, just stay calm as long as I don't say anything, you don't confirm or deny anything. It's just speculation. No one will know until they actually see the movie.
And No Way Home, it's impossible to market this thing without spoiling a little bit. And that is just going to lead to more speculation. There is no great way to do this. So
right.
Feige's doing his best.
Yeah, I think, and Feige probably knew that. He probably went into this one going like, look, this is going to be the hardest fucking thing to keep secret because of what we want to do with this movie. Some shit will get spoiled in trailers because there's nothing we can do about it plotline wise.
So anyway,
like,
yeah. Anyway, we don't want to see West Side Story.
But yeah, the whole point of this is Spider-Man looks awesome. Toby Hooper directed Poltergeist. Sorry for my mistake there. And yeah, I don't want to see West Side Story. I want more of the fun fucking Spielberg, not this self-indulgent shit I'm getting.
Speaking of fun, next up, Nightmare Alley, Guillermo del Toro's new movie featuring an all-star cast in a dark carnival setting. It's theaters December 17th, the same day as Spider-Man. So you can expect this movie to disappear really fucking fast.
I was about to say that's why I was starting to laugh on my end. I was like, oh wait, we just stopped talking about Spider-Man, and then you mentioned this movie.
It's whoever made this decision should get kicked in the dick. This is so stupid. It's gonna cause this movie to just disappear entirely.
Yes, it pisses me off because like it's Del Toro. You know he didn't make that decision because he's a massive comic book fan. He's made that known.
Dude, I feel like producers are constantly trying to fuck his career. I don't get it.
I don't understand. I'm like, who? And the fact that it hasn't budged yet is what bugs me. I'm like, it just really hasn't budged yet because it's a theater-only release, I believe.
It got moved there.
Yeah,
it was coming out like 2 weeks prior, and then they pushed it to Spider-Man.
Right, and I'm like, why would you do that? At least come out maybe the weekend before, so you have at least a weekend.
Yeah,
the week leading Spider-Man for people to go see this movie. I was like, why would you do? Especially because like the record that got broke on the trailer alone for Spider-Man on YouTube, which means that this is poised to be a monster hit. Like, why? Oh god, that decision has pissed me off so much. Because yeah, this film's going to disappear. And it's sad because segueing into the actual trailer, it looks great. Like it looks like Del Toro is taking everything that I loved about Shape of Water and using it here from like the aesthetic and the cinematography and all that stuff. Very much seems to be following that path, which I really, really enjoy in Shape of Water. I'm looking forward to see what he does with it here.
Yeah, so am I. I think this looks exciting and original. I can always, count on Guillermo del Toro for a new, original, fresh vision. And that's exciting. He's one of my favorite filmmakers, and I'm so psyched to have another one from him. Not just a producing credit, but like a full-blown, written and directed by.
Yeah, this is all him. And let it be known for the fans that are wondering, it was reported on Bloody Disgusting, a lot of other horror sites, I believe. This is not a horror film. Del Toro has had to point that out because it's been like up in the air on if it's a horror film, just because of the title. But he was like, it's not horror. It's his take on noir. He's making a mystery noir film here.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
I love that he had to clarify that his film Nightmare Alley is not a horror film.
Yeah, he had to clear. He's like, look, it's not. He was very clear. He's like, it's not horror. It's not what I usually do. He goes, it's more of a mystery noir film I wanted to make.
To be fair, I feel like he hasn't done horror in a long time. Like Shape of Water wasn't a horror movie. I guess Crimson Peak, right?
Yeah. Well, even Crimson Peak, that's why he brought it up, because Crimson Peak is really, a lot of people point out that's like really not a horror film. It's kind of like Shape of Water, that it has the elements in it, but it's more of a gothic romance movie.
Yeah.
And they marketed it as a horror film, and then no one really saw it because they were like, and then those who did were mad because they're like, well, this is supposed to be a horror film. So that's why he did that, because he was like, before you see this, like, don't let what happened with Crimson Peak happen here. Like, it's not a fucking horror movie.
Well, whatever. I don't care what genre it is. I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, I'm excited to see Del Toro. And like I said, it'll probably have elements, because Shape of Water, like, no, it wasn't necessarily a full-on horror film, but he had elements. Like, he was clearly inspired by Creature from the Black Lagoon for that movie. So I'm sure there'll be elements of it in there.
I don't know if he's talked about this on the podcast, but he's definitely told me about it. Austin fucking despises The Shape of Water. He hates that movie so much.
The fish sex? Is that what turned him off?
He hates that it won Best Picture, that it beat like films like Get Out and like legit, like, you know, I'll stop now. He'll explain it better than I do. I just, whenever a movie comes up, he just has this like sarcastic smile and shake of a head.
Right. I love Austin. I say this with love and not to disagree with you. I've seen a lot of those films with the Oscars that year. Shape of Water was a pretty damn good movie. I see why it won Best. Also, it was Del Toro, and I think that was his first major win.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was a long overdue. No offense to Jordan Peele. As much as I liked Get Out, I don't know if I would have given the Best Picture win.
Yeah, that year, I think also it beat 3 Billboards, which he was also pulling for.
I get 3 Billboards.
That was really good. Well, anyway, yeah, Shape of Water. Nightmare Alley looks interesting. I'm on board. It'd be cool to see, you know, if Guillermo makes another splash at the Oscars.
Yeah, hopefully Austin likes this one.
Hopefully.
He had such a strong reaction to.
I know. It was weird. Yeah, he said like Shape of Water and Green Book was a back-to-back shitty movie win that he was really upset by.
I can see what Green Book's. I know a lot of people did not like that one, but I don't know. I don't see it with Shape of Water. I really like Shape of Water.
Next, VHS 94. The long-awaited 4th film in the cult favorite horror franchise debuts on Shudder on October 6th. VHS 1 and 2, stellar movies. VHS Viral, dog shit. This one looks like a nice return to form. I'm excited.
Yeah, I think I texted you like real quick, like, dude, the trailer's just dropped. Yeah, this looks like it's going back to the first 2. Yeah, and yeah, I mean 94, so yeah, it's going back to the style of the first 2 and not necessarily what we got in Viral. It seems like they kind of paid attention that people didn't like that one.
Yeah. Crucial part of the VHS franchise is fucking tapes. Who knew?
Yeah. Now this looks batshit crazy, insane, so much fun. I cannot wait. The fucking people they got to do this movie is stellar. Like, you got Timo Tchonto, who he has done the prior ones. He directed Safe Haven in VHS 2, the cult one. Yeah, and I really like that segment. That was a fucking awesome segment. So they got him. I think David Bruckner is attached to this. I think he's in the Wraparound Story. Yeah, they got a lot of the guys from prior films that have gone on to do bigger things back for this one, some new talent. I can't wait.
Well, regrettably, VHS 94 is going to take a back seat to No Time to Die on that sneak preview.
But I am seeing both.
I am seeing both as well. I was hoping, and I wish we could do VHS on Filmgazm that week to, you know, tie it in with this. But obviously, we got other things in the pipeline that week. So, yeah.
If anything, we'll get to VHS soon.
Yeah, it'll come up. I mean, that's a friend. I would love to. I'm going to revisit the first 2 for prep for 94 just because it's been a long time. But yeah, I wanted to. We haven't done a lot of anthology films on that podcast. It'd be nice to do a couple of those.
Yeah, no, don't get me wrong. Like, yeah, I understand that No Time to Die will be the big one, and I'm really looking forward to that James Bond movie. Not the length, but I'm looking forward to the movie.
I'm looking forward to the length and the girth of that motherfucker. It's gonna be fun. I've been waiting for this movie for a long time.
Did you see the video he did where he actually did thank the crew?
Yeah, he got emotional. He was like, you know, I've hated doing these, but I love working with you guys.
Yeah, I was like, this is oddly sweet because you can tell he was like very genuine and like getting emotional there. Like, I was like, oh shit. It kind of hit there, like shit. So it kind of hit there when he was doing it. I was like, shit, this is it. Like, he's done after this.
Yeah, but it's not the end of the Bond franchise. It's just the end of Craig's Bond movies. It's not.
I know, but yeah, I know, but I'm saying, like, I think more than any other franchise, this would be the one I'm most connected to because of the time. Like, Casino Royale came out at my age. I mean, I was a teenager.
Yeah.
So this was the one I grew up with, was this era, and you grew up with as well. I know.
I did. Yeah, I did. I saw these at the movies, but I really kind of. The Bond franchise, I kind of discovered all of it at once. Mm-hmm. So I never really latched on to a particular Bond. I love all of them for their own reason, except Lazenby. He can go fuck himself. But the rest of them, I do have a fondness for in their own way. I don't care for that. I really don't like. That's the only Bond movie I can't stand. On Her Majesty's Secret Service. The rest of them I can watch. That one I got to skip.
Yeah, that's a boring one.
Yeah, it's 2.5 hours of Bond in a fucking kilt at a like spa resort with Blofeld, who doesn't fucking recognize him for some reason, just not doing anything.
Because it wasn't Daniel Craig, duh.
Not his brother. I hated that.
It wasn't one of the ones where he knows. Yeah.
It was annoying. I mean, but you know, in the original continuity, it's supposed to be the same man, James Bond.
Yeah, but I mean, continuity with this franchise has been hit and miss between the actors, because they haven't really confirmed like what happens there, if it's just a full-on reset or they're continuing.
Well, there's little things like, you know, Roger Moore bringing flowers to his wife's grave. You know, Dalton remembering, you know, a lot of it is the wife. The wife comes up a lot to kind of keep this going. You know, Felix Leiter constantly remembering Bond. And it's just weird that Donald Pleasant's Bond, I mean, Blofeld versus Connery's Bond, they clearly met each other. And then Telly Savalas has no fucking clue what he looks like. And in the next movie, Connery's Bond is back on a revenge quest to kill Blofeld for killing his wife. So there's clearly continuity here. It's just weird that they would do that.
It was a different Blofeld, like the lesser Blofeld.
There's one Blofeld. It's the same man.
No, this was the lesser one, the Blofeld.
Oh my God. Fucking hell. I love these movies, is what I'm saying. So I'm excited to see who steps into Craig's shoes, where this goes next. Yeah. Anyway, VHS 94 looks great.
Yeah. I am really excited for VHS 94.
Did you ever see that SNL sketch that Daniel Craig did where he played James Bond at a casino who's like trying to get information, and then he keeps winning at craps and starts turning into a douchebag?
No.
It is so funny. He keeps winning and he's like, holy shit. Like, I'm going to blow on these dice. I'm going to win this. Like, he just gets so excited. He's like, he's ordering a drink and he starts ordering his martini and he's like, wait, screw that. Can I get a vodka Red Bull double, please? He just turns into a complete douche. It is so funny because it's actually James Bond doing this. It's great. Look that up when we're done here. It's a great sketch.
I'll have to look that up.
He says some like Lion King joke that made me laugh so hard. I don't remember. I think he's like, call me Simba because I am king of the jungle or some shit like that. It was great. Finally, the teaser trailer for Paranormal Activity Next of Kin, the 7th film in the increasingly bad franchise that's been in a sort of coma since 2015, will debut on Paramount Plus on October 29th. And it's only like 30 seconds, but I'm not impressed. I've given up on this franchise. I don't really care. I'll probably skip this.
Yeah, I know I busted your balls when we were texting about, but like, I'm indifferent because, like you said, it was 30 seconds, and there's only like honestly 2 Paranormal Activity films I cannot stand. That was like the 4th one, and then the final one that capped it off. I thought it was a shit fucking ending. And with this one, it's only 30 seconds, and I actually had to watch it twice because I think I told you at first, like the first couple of seconds, I was like, is this found footage? Because it didn't look found footage. I was like, is this found, or is this just like a really weird camera choice we're making? It's found footage. I got that confirmed on the second viewing. But I can't believe this. I need more. Like, I need a better trailer to sell me, because like the back half, when they show all the scary shit, looks like there's something there, but I don't know what the fuck's going on.
It's gonna be like 30 minutes of just a family doing family shit and somehow having a reason that there's cameras in every room of their house, and just you're gonna see blank shit for a while. They're gonna go to sleep. There's gonna be nothing happening the first 2 nights. The third night, something's gonna happen. They're gonna look into it. There's gonna be some connection to the first few movies, like somebody's aunt or nephew or grandma, or there's witchcraft or a book or some shit, and then it ends with some wacky shit that doesn't make any sense. That's what's going to happen.
I don't know. They're claiming that it's like a retooling of the franchise, so they're claiming it's not meant to be the same exact thing that we got. So we'll see. The one thing that worries me, and this is going back to me defending my stance on Texas Chainsaw Massacre, what really worries me is, like, again, like I was saying, then, I understand that things going to streamers is not a death sentence for a lot of these franchises, I understand that, yes, the indie scene, really the indie scene, as we know it, became what it is thanks to that home video market in the 80s when people were just putting shit together to get films out. Yeah, it started out like shit, but eventually we got this incredible indie scene that's going strong to this day, and it's great. And we do get a lot of good, like straight to streamers, straight to DVD type stuff. With that said, one stigma that has not truly left completely is if you have a hugely successful theatrical franchise and a sequel goes straight to goddamn DVD or the streamers. That usually means this is shit. There's exceptions. Chucky is the first one that comes to mind. I love Curse and I love Cult. They went straight to DVD after the reception of Seed. But those are fucking awesome. And now we're going to kick ass. Hopefully, will be a kick ass show next month out of it. In this case, though, both this Paranormal Activity and like the upcoming, Texas Chainsaw, that's also supposed to be coming out actually in October. But, we're almost there and no trailer yet. No big deal. They were supposed to be theatrical. Like these were slated for theatrical and they just randomly got pulled from it and are going straight to streamer. So it's like, is this like a lack of faith in the studio saying like, ooh, this is not going to make money, so we'll just put this on the streamer but we don't lose anything? Or is this truly a move to help the streamers out a little bit and have some prestige in this genre of film,
Well, Paramount Plus needs a boost because Infinite did not do the job. So Paranormal Activity, has always been a sure thing when it comes to box office. So maybe this will be a sure thing for them for, subscriptions. Who knows?
Like I said, I don't know. I understand it's not the death sentence, but it does worry me when this was initially poised for theatrical and then just got pulled. Like, tell me that your cheap, what probably cost you $10 million to make wasn't going to make any money at the box office.
Well, I might watch it simply because I don't have to go to the movies and spend movie ticket prices to see what's probably going to be a really boring / cliched piece of shit. So
I'm going to watch it just because I've seen the other ones, and I'm going to hold out hope that it's better than the Ghost Dimension because I really fucking hated the Ghost Dimension.
So those are the trailers. I like, we're getting new ones every week. Always something to talk about. Now for some casting stuff. Keegan-Michael Key has joined Timothée Chalamet in the upcoming Wonka prequel set for release March 2023. His role is undisclosed at the moment. I personally, and I know this probably isn't happening, I hope he's playing the Oompa Loompas.
They should have try to get Jordan Peele.
Oh, yes.
And have him and Keegan-Michael Key as the Oompa Loompas.
That would be fantastic. I'm a very big fan of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. It's one of my all-time favorite films since I was a kid, so I really don't like that they're doing this. We don't need this. Nobody asked for it.
Dude, it kind of going back to West Side Story, right? Like, I don't fucking need this movie. Whereas unlike West Side Story, I'm like you, I love the original Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. It's a fantastic fucking movie.
Yeah.
I don't need this. I did not like the remake with Johnny Depp.
Me neither.
And I was not excited to hear this get announced. I'm like, I don't need a fucking prequel movie on Wonka.
You notice that the Wonkas are getting less whimsical. You've got Gene Wilder, who was perfect. You got Johnny Depp, who was weird. And now you got Timothée Chalamet, who is just like a fucking void of despair. So I
think that's why it probably fell and why no one really talks about the Tim Burton remake. Because if you read, because I've read the books, and if you read a Roald Dahl book, they're very whimsical books.
Mm-hmm.
So that's, I think, why a lot of people latched on to that original Willy Wonka, because it matches the tone of the book. Gene Wilder was exactly the Wonka I read in the book on screen. And it worked, and I fell in love with it. These other, like the creepy, almost rapey Tim Burton one, I didn't like that one.
My favorite thing, my favorite revelation from reading a lot of Roald Dahl books as a kid was the fact that he really hated children.
Yeah.
Like, good God. I mean, he hates just his books are all just horrible shit happening to kids. And I mean, yeah, I get it. But yeah, I thought, I wonder what direction they're going to take. I feel like this is going to have a Doolittle reaction and just fail miserably.
Yeah.
Remember that? Remember Doolittle?
Yeah, I remember when I saw that, I was like, this looks stupid. I was like, this is what you're doing with like one of the most beloved Eddie Murphy films. Yeah, Eddie Murphy, I know, did Doolittle. He did the remake.
I wouldn't go so far as to call Dr. Dolittle one of Eddie Murphy's most beloved films.
One of his more well-known films.
Well known, I'll give you that. The original was Rex Harrison, who that movie was like almost 3 hours long. I watched it as prep for one of our Oscar Sundays, and it is so terrible. I read up on the backstory. Rex Harrison didn't want to do this movie so bad, he decided to make everyone's life a living hell and just be a colossal dick the whole time.
How does that help you out at all? If you don't,
it made him feel better, I guess. It made him be like, you're not, I'm miserable, so now you're going to be miserable, and they can't fire me. Like it was he was kind of a dick. But also, that film was up for Best Picture and like 6 other Oscars because the producers straight up bribed the Academy. They just were like, please give us nominations, we'll give you a donation. And they're like, all right.
God.
So Dr. Dolittle does not have the best track record.
I will say, okay, a well-known Eddie Murphy film that I would say beloved for a generation. I feel like it's one of those films that, like, if you were a kid when it came out, you probably still really enjoy it. Yeah, and then when they did what they did with the Downey Jr. one, they're like, let's be super serious because that's what people want.
I didn't see it, but I heard there's a scene where he like sticks his arm up a dragon's ass. I
don't know because I haven't seen it either.
Yeah, I stumbled onto a code, a download code. So it is in my Vudu account. If you ever actually feel, actually, you know what? That'd probably be a really good movie for the show we're doing.
Yeah, the other show that we keep hinting at.
Yeah, we'll be announcing that in the next few months. A new, a little Christmas present. Well, early Christmas present.
It'd be like the ultimate like troll move. You don't have a new show. You just keep telling people.
Maybe. I mean, who knows? I guess you'll see. We just keep talking about a new show, but never actually launch one.
Yeah, just really troll. We want to do that too, but it would be funny.
Yeah, we wouldn't do that to you. Or would we? I guess you'll find out. Bryce Dallas Howard is directing a remake of the 1986 sci-fi kids movie Flight of the Navigator, which follows a young boy who travels into the future with a wisecracking alien ship. Never saw Flight of the Navigator, but I can tell you right now, we don't need it.
Yeah. It's funny. All the stuff that gets announced on Disney Plus, it's really weird because I feel like I am definitely like get excited for what the stuff they don't want me to get excited for. Like they announce something like this and I go, okay. But then they announced the new Oral Stein show they're doing. I think it's like Just Beyond something, but brand new Oral Stein show. And I'm sitting there going, oh yeah, bring it on. Give me that fucking Stein. I'm going to be 28, but I'll fucking watch it. I don't give a shit. It's Stein.
Yeah. I mean, everything is so redone at this point that, you get excited about the original stuff because it's so fucking rare now.
Yeah. And even he's starting to get, they're starting to get a point where they're grabbing shit and redoing shit of his. Like there's a new Goosebumps show in development, I think, over at Netflix.
I know.
Granted, I'm actually kind of excited for that one.
Yeah. So Bryce Dallas Howard's cutting her teeth on a Flight of the Navigator remake.
Yeah. I know she's been directing stuff more recently. She's directed episodes of The Mandalorian, so it sounds like she's cutting her teeth directing in general.
Well, good. Well, we'll see it, this show, but I'm not, maybe I should watch the original Flight of the Navigator. Then I'll maybe be excited, or I'll love it so much I'll hate this even more.
You'll love this one. It's gonna be like, because it's Disney, right? It's gonna be like super woke and like PC, and then you're gonna watch the original and just be like, oh my god.
A 6th Purge film is in consideration, with Frank Grillo returning to the franchise as Leo Barnes. James DeMonico, the guy who wrote all 5 Purge movies, is returning for one last ride. And I believe we pitched. Yeah, I know.
I was like, don't.
Yeah, the quote unquote one last ride.
The Forever Purge was literally built as the final one forever, and that lasted like 3 months.
There's no such thing as the last one when it comes to horror movies. But didn't we pitched a pretty decent Purge when we did the Forever Purge? I remember Like,
Oh yeah.
in post Forever Purge world, like, America's been divided into factions with Purge world and like regular society, and like the president's daughter or something goes missing in Purge world, and Leo Barnes is brought in to save her.
Maybe who knows? Maybe they heard us. And James DeMonico won't admit it, but he heard us. He's like, that's the fucking great idea for a sixth movie.
I don't know if I'd be excited or like super pissed.
I don't know either. I'll say this much. I wasn't surprised. Like, I remember I texted you. I was like, hey, remember that final Purge movie? Yeah. I do like the idea of him coming back, like Frank Grillo coming back, because I like him, and I actually like his two movies the most in that series.
Same.
So having him and DeMonico come back gives me hope that this will be actually a pretty enjoyable film.
Yeah,
but
me too.
It amazes me that it took only like 3 or 4 months for them to just quickly go, nope, not final. We're considering a new one.
That is, yeah, I think that's the fastest turnaround I've ever seen with a horror franchise being like, we're done, to we got another one.
Yeah, usually it's like a couple of years of us going, usually just long enough for you to go like, oh, okay, I guess they are done. They haven't really talked about a new one forever. And Jigsaw happens or this new Paranormal Activity. Nope, this one was just like, oh, it's only been a couple months. Pandemic's still going on. Country's still pretty divided. New Purge.
Yeah, bring it on. As long as we're divided, James Monaco will be showing us Purge movies. We'll be feeding off of that resentment and putting it into his franchise. Speaking of resentment, they're rebooting The Lost Boys with Noah Jupe and Jaden Martell, British director Jonathan Entwistle, not the former bassist of The Who, a different John Entwistle. He created the shows The End of the Fucking World and I Am Not Okay With This. He's going to be the guy who's directing this thing. And I've never cared for The Lost Boys, but it's been a while. But again, we don't need this
territory. Are you saying second watch territory on the first one?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
But I also don't think we need a remake of the goddamn Lost Boys.
Look, man. Okay, as someone who does like the Lost Boys, well, it's pretty much the same perspective. I love the original. I don't really need a new one. When I saw this, I don't know if it's just because there's so many remakes now. Nowadays, that when I saw this, I just kind of went, okay. Yeah, I didn't get mad. And I was like, all right. It's too. I know, like, for if anyone hasn't been tracking, I'll give you a quick little rundown on how I'm assuming we got here. For the longest time, the CW was supposed to do a Lost Boys TV show.
Yeah,
they passed in the pilot like 5 or 6 fucking times. I don't know if these are the same people involved, if they just got fed up with CW, because I don't know if anyone pays attention to like CW shows, but like they like to pass up on stuff all the time. It's really weird. I don't know how they actually saw a channel with the amount of shit they just said, nah, we don't need it anymore. It's fucking odd. So I guess they get tired and like, you know what, if you're not going to give us a show, we'll just make the fucking movie then. And here we are now with a movie. Like, I will say I'm more happy to hear a movie's happening because it won't get CW-fied. But
still might.
We don't need it.
I'm like 80% sure this is going to be PG-13. And you know what? I will see it opening night if Corey Feldman is the bad guy. If he's Kiefer Sutherland, I'm on board.
Look, I don't trust any news on this movie unless it comes from Corey Feldman's mouth. All right. Yeah. He broke the news on the lawsuit for Friday the 13th, for Christ's sakes.
Dude, there is no more trusted voice in Hollywood than Corey Feldman. He's the only guy who knows what's going down for real. I mean, how else would we know that the lawsuit is over, that we can rejoice in the streets?
Yeah. How else would we know that we can finally look forward to a Friday the 13th with his character back as Tommy Jarvis? I couldn't be more happy. We're being sarcastic, by the way, folks. I can't do this anymore. Yeah. The lawsuit's still ongoing. Don't get your hopes up. Corey Feldman was sucking out his ass.
Yeah, as he often does. But he'll have a cameo or something. He'll demand it. He has percentage points or some shit, something like that.
I'm sure, like, if these guys are like, let's, best case scenario, these are fans that are doing this. They have a legit interesting new take on this. that they're fans enough that they'll ask him for like a cameo. Be like, hey, can we get you in for like a cameo, or at least for this new Lost Boys movie we're doing? Which would be cool because Corey Haim's passed away. I don't know much about the other actors involved with the original Lost Boys. You think is Saxman still alive? Because I want to see Saxman again.
Who?
Saxman, the guy playing the sax in the dance at the beginning of Lost Boys. I sent you the GIF.
I know, but that doesn't give me any fucking context, does it?
I want to see if he's still alive, because if he doesn't cameo in this goddamn movie playing that sax all oiled up, I'm not watching it.
The 80s were a lawless wasteland when it came to movies. Anything goes.
Beautiful decade, if you ask me.
Again, here's another fucking movie that's getting another one. The long gestating Twins sequel, Triplets, is finally happening.
Is all the movies we have today just remakes and sequels?
Yes.
God
Remakes, sequels, and the death of a great one.
And some fun after that we'll save it for. But yeah, go on.
Triplets. They've been talking about this since the late 90s. It's finally happening. Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito are returning with a third brother to be played by Tracy Morgan.
Weren't they talking about having Eddie Murphy play this part?
Yep, and he very wisely got the fuck out of there.
Yeah, he's taking his little resurgence, probably the best route right now. He's focusing on reviving his own franchises with them in it, which is smart on his part.
Yeah, and honestly, I think the novelty of like, what? Oh my God, the third brother is black is not going to be hilarious because it's not 1992 anymore.
Not in 2021. I feel like I may have known that like I get real tired of the SJW stuff just because they whine more than they come up with legit things to get mad at. Yeah. But even I can say like, yeah, I'm with you. Like with that said, like the fact that that's the plot they're saying want to go with does seem like it will fall flat on its face because people are gonna be like, really, that's your catch? Is that the big surprise that their brother is black? As if we don't know about interracial marriages and relationships and things like that have been happening for fucking decades.
Yeah, it's a bad move. It's a stupid move. It's going to make the movie bomb. And also, who the fuck has been wanting a Twins sequel? Twins is not a great movie.
I don't remember Twins. I watched it like once when I was a kid and I can't remember it.
It's really bad. It's not that funny.
Okay. I'll take your word. I mean, I'll watch it eventually, but I'll take your word on it for now. Yeah. Also, like personally, I don't find Tracy Morgan that funny. I have yet to really find him super hilarious enough in something. So his casting compared to like originally talked about Eddie Murphy, I'm like, I get why Eddie Murphy backed out wisely, but if anyone could have made it even remotely work, it would have been him.
Yeah, you're not alone on that island. I don't really find him that funny either.
Yeah, he wasn't. What was that show you did with Tina Fey? Was it 30 Rock? I'm thinking of.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he wasn't exactly my favorite part to that show. It was more like Tina Fey and Alec Baldwin made me laugh the most.
I never watched 30 Rock. I've just never had enough interest to like pursue anything he's been in.
Even what was it? That movie with Fist Fight. There we go. With Ice Cube and Charlie Day. He wasn't the funniest part of that movie to me. Like that was a really funny movie, but he was not my highlight of the movie.
Yeah, I'm with you. Well, whatever. We were talking earlier about, for 2022 sneak previews to be a little bit more choosy on what we talk about. I feel like Triplets ain't going to make the cut.
No, of all the things that Schwarzenegger was trying to bring back, I wasn't expecting Twins. But I wasn't expecting to hear rumors of a new Eraser head or whatever. Eraser coming in. Apparently that's a fucking thing.
I heard about that. Yeah, like what? Who? I've never seen Eraser, but I can tell you right now, I don't think there's enough fans to warrant a sequel.
Dude, it's a weird fucking movie. My dad had it played on TV one day, and me being the Schwarzenegger fanatic I was with him, I was like, "Ooh, like what's this Schwarzenegger movie?" And it's fucking weird.
I would be down for a True Lies sequel, frankly. And I'd be down. I want King Conan. Where is that?
Yeah, I'm tired of hearing about that. And also, why won't he come back to Predator? Like, who pissed him off to not come back to Predator? I'm tired of hearing about him being rumored for a fucking cameo in a movie and then it doesn't fucking happen.
Yeah. So the Predator franchise is so weird right now. I don't know what's going on with this like supposed prequel movie. I don't know.
I want to stay hopeful because I like the idea of what they want. If it is what they're going, that direction that they're supposed to be going in, I like.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. And yeah, the Schwarzenegger just use up all his fucking franchise revival Viagra on Terminator. Is that what he use it all up on, and like everything else just went by the wayside?
Well, he got a bad batch of pills if he did, because Genesis and Dark Fate both underperformed, and we didn't get anything. So,
I'll totally defend Dark Fate. All right, you guys should have seen that movie. That was actually a damn good Terminator movie.
You know what? I thought Genesis was entertaining. I didn't think it was perfect, but I wasn't bored.
That's one of those movies that, like, I will objectively, it's a bad movie, but
yeah,
it's fucking entertaining to watch, and it's sheer audacity for what they do in that movie.
Perfect for the new show.
Our other show that may or may not be coming, because we might be trolling you guys.
Yeah, or we'll go beyond all these bad movies. It'll be interesting. Maybe. Who knows? I don't know what it's about.
They finally reveal this show at some point this year.
I know. This is all enticement to keep you coming back for more.
And just remember, whatever we were talking about, we're not excited for that movie. I already forgot what we were talking about.
The triplets.
Oh, yeah.
We got to play fucking, 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon just to get back to our original point with this show. But yeah.
So was there a point you were about me before I went on with my Schwarzenegger rant there on Eraser?
No, I was just saying, like, King Conan and True Lies 2. Those are like what I'd like to see, but nobody's clamoring for a twin sequel. And Terminator, I think they should just give up. I like most of the movies. It's time to stop. You can't get it off the ground.
Just leave it alone. Conan, the King Conan one bugs me because he has talked about it numerous fucking times. I'm like, if any of the roles that you could put him in that would suit him, it would honestly be a King Conan. Like that would probably suit him the most at his age. And yet somehow having out in that fucking movie.
Yeah. Whatever. He's gonna do what he's gonna do.
Just don't be too mad at him, guys. I know he said fuck your freedoms, but he also apologized.
I want to say more, but I also don't want to lose any viewers or listeners, I guess.
I like his movies. I'll leave it at that.
I love Arnold and I love everything he says. I'll say that.
I am still a massive Schwarzenegger fan. I grew up with the guy. He's one of my favorite action stars ever.
Yeah. Say what you want about the guy. Nobody has accomplished more impossible achievements in my mind than he has.
Are you thinking of the Bill Burr trick right now?
He's not wrong, man. He is not wrong. I mean, look at this guy's life. It's amazing. My favorite bit is when he says that this guy should be loading trucks in Transylvania.
Like when he did the basketball comparison, he's not always going to alley-oop it every time.
Oh boy. Yeah. Arnold's the man. I mean, I respect his I want to say I respect his ethics, but then I remember the whole fucking thing with the maid. So maybe I shouldn't say that.
I respect everything he's accomplished. He's my favorite action star of all time, and I fucking love his movies.
There you go. I second that. Some sad news. SNL alum and beloved comedian Norm Macdonald has passed away suddenly at 61 years old after a 9-year battle with cancer. He was part of the cast of Saturday Night Live from 1993 to 1998, appeared in such films as Billy Madison, The Animal, Dr. Dolittle, and The People versus Larry Flint. He will be missed. This came out of fucking nowhere. Really bummed me out. Norm was, you didn't see him a lot, but when you did see him, God, was he funny.
Yeah, he's one of those, man, that like the joke you were telling before we recorded this, he could take just a simple joke and just with his delivery and that voice, because he had a very recognizable voice to me.
Yeah.
And make you just die laughing. He was hands down one of the best cast members to ever be on SNL, one of the greatest comics of all time. I was not expecting to see that in our group chat because that's how I found it. I didn't see it on the internet first. I saw the group chat text. And when I saw it, I was like, no, no way. And yeah, I mean, he is a comedic legend in my opinion.
Yeah. Fuck cancer, man. It's always fucking cancer. Always gets these guys, these great guys, takes them too soon. Norm was, I knew my when I was a kid, he was to me the guy in The Animal who keeps asking the questions in the mob.
Oh yeah.
That was my Norm moment as a kid when he's just like, doesn't this guy deserve a fair trial? And they throw him out of the mob.
For me, it's whenever he did voice work, because I know he did a bunch of like surprisingly a lot of like kids movies and shows voice work. So I always that's how why to me it's a voice always recognizable because I grew up hearing that voice. And then when I got older and realized who he was and got into his stuff, I was like, oh, it's actually really fucking funny.
You remember Norm the Genie from the Fairly Odd Parents?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good times. Yeah, I really liked him in The Orville. He played Yaphet. Did you ever watch The Orville?
No, but I've been wanting to, especially now I'm kind of getting on this fucking Star Trek kick, which is currently getting paused. And we'll not watch Lower Decks till post October, but yeah.
Apparently, when they came out, The Orville was surpassing Star Trek Discovery in numbers.
Really?
The Star Trek fans liked The Orville more than they liked Discovery in the first season.
I'll say this. As someone who's now sat through all 3 seasons before we get more into The Orville,
yeah,
first season is good, but because they focus so hard on the Klingon Federation war storyline, it's incredibly dark for Star Trek. And there's a lot of fucking subplots to the point that like the final 3-4 episodes felt like they could each be a season finale because there was that many subplots they had to wrap up. And also it's 15 episodes instead of it's planned 13 because Brian Fuller, who was originally attached, we had to get politely asked to leave, was determined that the first 2 episodes be the prologue episode to set up the actual storyline, and the actual season storyline doesn't start till episode 3. So objectively, that was season 1. Season 2 quickly fixed that and got rid of so many plot lines. They got down to 14 episodes. They were going to be 13, but production issues got them bumped up to 14. Really did a better job of focusing on a season-long storyline. Brought in a lot of original Trek characters like Pike. This is not spoilers because they got a fucking their own show announced, but Pike and Spock and them are in the season. And then season 3 went even further and through a series of events and show, established themselves away from the fucking original series continuity finally. And so now they have a lot more freedom. Again, also the tone, they line up the tone to make it more fun. So objectively, season 1's literally the worst season because they kept improving after that to make it more of what they want.
Well, The Orville has it from the beginning. It's 2 seasons in. Season 3, Fox canceled it, and then Hulu bought it. But then COVID fucked up production, and so it's going to be a while before we get season 3. But the first 2 seasons are endlessly rewatchable. All the characters are hilarious, and Norm plays this weird gelatinous blob who works on the ship named Yaphet, who's constantly hitting on the ship's doctor. And it's great.
I need to give it a shot because like I said, I'm taking a break, prepping for all the content I've been reading about coming my way for good old spooky season.
Yeah.
But come November, when I watch Star Trek Lower Decks, I heard that a lot of fans like that. It's like that show apparently is like all Lower Decks. It's literally like, you know how in Star Trek we always see the officers.
Yeah.
It's what you see below. It's the enlisted guys and the shit they gotta deal with. It's like an adult animated comedy.
Yeah.
So I want to check that out because I've heard a lot of good things about that. And I'll have to probably maybe back to back it with the Orville.
The Orville is a quick watch because you're going to get sucked in. It's really, it's hilarious, but it's also really smart. And there's a big fat twist in the middle of season 2 that is like, what the fuck, out of nowhere. And it's such a smart twist and really gets me pumped. It's like, this feels like Star Trek now. It's crazy.
Well, isn't McFarlane like a massive Trekkie? Isn't that why he did the show?
This is his Star Trek. And it's perfect. There's so many cameos from like various captains and shit. And like people who aren't, were on Star Trek. There's a great, like he has, connections with a lot of big Hollywood people who pop up on this show.
Like Patrick Stewart.
Not yet, but we did get Liam Neeson in one episode and Charlize Theron in another one.
Oh hell yeah! Hopefully he'll get I know Patrick Stewart's currently filming the second season of Picard.
There, with all the shit they have done together, there is no way in hell Patrick Stewart's not going to show up on this show at least once.
Oh yeah, and you know he's going to have a ball essentially making fun of himself.
Yeah, of course.
That's what it's going to amount to, is a chance for him to just kind of like make fun of himself and his very famous character.
Yeah, but it's a really cool show, really funny, really heartfelt. The cast is great.
I'll have to give it a shot. I mean, especially now that I'm getting kind of into track hard with these new shows. Mm-hmm. And if McFarlane's a fan, that means there's probably a lot of good like inside jokes I'll get finally.
Oh, a ton.
You know?
And it's just he's a captain, like he's given a control of his own ship, but he's also recently broken up with his ex-wife, who ends up being his first officer. And the dynamic between them is fucking hilarious because he's constantly making jabs at because she cheated on him and fucked up the marriage. So he's constantly making jabs at her, and it's so funny. I
wonder. I'll probably also like it because I feel like I'll like it too. Also because if anyone knows, I don't know if you have any military that listens to this show. Star Trek is like heavily influenced by naval tradition and Navy terms. To the point that like now that I'm in the Navy and I'm watching these shows, I'm like, oh my God, I understand everything way better now. So I wonder if McFarlane has a ball with that too in the show.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, let me know when you do that because I really want to hear your thoughts on the Orville.
I will. I think it's funny that he beat Discovery's first season in ratings.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy. Yeah, Norm is a vital piece of the show. And I'm interested. I'm sad I'm never going to see Yaphet again.
Yeah, it's sad because I mean, it's fun. I think like the day after I heard it, I happened to have the TV playing in the hotel, and they showed that Mike Tyson show on Adult Swim, the animated mystery show he does. And I didn't realize Norm voiced one of the characters, and I had it turned down because I was reading, and then I turned it back up because I was getting ready to watch them before I go to bed. And sure enough, the bird starts talking. And I hear his voice. I'm like, holy shit. And it kind of hit. It was like, oh, I didn't. But as soon as I heard that voice, I was like, holy shit, that's Norm Macdonald.
Yeah. Damn. I'm going to miss him. He was hilarious. I think it's shitty how he got forced out of SNL because he kept making fun of OJ Simpson.
Yeah, which we all know, as Dave Chappelle told us, he did it. I won't say what Dave Chappelle actually said on stage because it's not a good word to say out loud.
But yeah, OJ had a friend in the NBC production who did not like that Norm kept mocking the clearly guilty football player. So the guy just, not only did he kick Norm off SNL, he like fucking blacklisted him. He told all the late night people, like, don't you ever make him a guest. Conan O'Brien had to fucking sever the relationship with the producer just because he kept bringing Norm on his show. And like this guy took it personally. It was crazy. He sabotaged Norm's career as best he could. I'm glad Hollywood's having to have a reckoning with that now because it makes me mad how many people, not even just on the like going away from the sexual assault charges and stuff like that are happening, right? That all they had to do was do something and produce them like and their career got ruined, Yeah.
It could be like Brendan Fraser telling the producer, do not touch me like that. And then he gets blacklisted and he had no right to be. Or in Norm Macdonald's case, he made jokes about something that was very clearly someone was guilty of, and it was fucking OJ Simpson. And because the producer was a friend, he blacklisted him for no fucking reason. It's
fucked. Well, Norm, rest in peace. I hope you're kicking it with Chris Farley right now, having a great time. And we'll never forget you. Thanks for the laughs.
Yeah, true. God, dude, this is the second cancer related thing I could think of, and recently with Bozeman.
Yeah.
God, this cancer sucks. God damn.
Yeah. So usually we end on celebrity deaths if there are any. Try to do kind of an in memoriam thing. This week, there's something
we're both
also
heated.
Yeah, pretty heated. And you know, kind of on life support is certain directors' fan admiration, because that's going away pretty goddamn fast. So I want to discuss a recent trend in Hollywood that's been pissing us both off. Started with Christopher Nolan throwing a temper tantrum over Tenet not getting as big a release as he wanted, despite the fact it was the height of the COVID-19 pandemic. Yeah.
Just real quick, I want to point out it's not about showers. So no one freak out about that. Not personal hygiene that we're ranting about. Go on.
No, it's not showers, although these assholes' personality could use a dunk. Seriously. I mean, how do you get this tone deaf?
Oh, no. I'll let you continue. I'll wait till you're done.
So Christopher Nolan, with his new movie that he's shopping around to Universal, has the most insane list of demands. I can't believe it. It's so. I'm going to look those up because I'm realizing right now I forgot to put those in the script. So, Caleb, what do you want to say about this?
What I want to say, dear God, first off, I thought it was hilarious how you kind of like were like, all right, Caleb, when I was texting you about it, because you hadn't read the article yet. So you thought I was just being like dramatic for no reason. And then the moment I sent you the article off IGN, you went, oh my fucking God.
Oh, my God. Okay. So here we go.
There's only one thing in this whole demand, by the way, that I agreed with. One. Everything else was bullshit to me.
So this is from JoeBelow.com, as told from the Hollywood Reporter. This is what Christopher Nolan wanted for his new film about the Manhattan Project, which admittedly not a giant scale epic. It's a biopic about what one man, J. Robert Oppenheimer.
Again, I'll see if you know which one, the only one I agree with, if you see it.
So Nolan wanted a $100 million budget for the film, which is a little high for a biopic. That doesn't happen
for
usually.
Small scale. For a small scale. That's how I wrote it. A small scale for him. 100 fucking million. As if this fucker didn't make Memento and Following. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, sorry. I get it, man. It's hard to just sit back and not freak out here. Nolan is also requesting an equal marketing budget. So that's $100 million for the budget and an extra $100 million for promotion.
Yeah, $200 million.
Yeah. The director also wanted, quote, total creative control, which I get.
I was like, that's the only one. I was like, any director would want that. Like, any director would ask for that. So,
yeah.
All right. I'm cool with that one.
20% of first dollar gross. So points. And get this.
And
a blackout period from which the studio wherein the company would not release another movie 3 weeks before or 3 weeks after his movie. Who the fuck does he think he is? Jesus Christ.
The budget had me at first where I'm like, you really don't remember your roots, do you, buddy? I was like, because that's not small scale. If you add on that extra 100 million, that's 200 million. That means at the box office, it has to make well fucking past 100 million to be a profitable fucking movie. And then you add your 20% points that you want. This movie has to make fucking bank for anyone other than you to make money.
Like he gives a fuck about anyone else making money.
No, he clearly doesn't. He clearly doesn't care about fans. And then, to do on a studio like at Universal, to say like you cannot release anything for 6 weeks that my movie is out, because mind you, Universal is partnered with the MCU because they do own. There's a weird Hulk thing that they have with them. I don't quite understand, but it's a weird thing. But another one for the horror fans, if you don't know, they are majorly cited. Like they back Blumhouse on a lot of fucking horror films that they do. One of those we're about to see next month, known as Halloween Kills. So to have the gall say that all these other studios you're working with, fuck them. I don't want them to come out with movies. What if he comes out with a movie in October? So Universal can't release a single fucking horror movie to go with the season because Nolan wants that fucking month apparently.
I can't believe any studio is like willing to go along with this. I mean, Tenet didn't do great because of the pandemic, but also because it was a very weird, confusing movie. And this is just, he's not a safe bet like this. This is crazy. This is a great way to just lose so much potential money.
This is like the definition of like to me, like the fuck up with the Hollywood system, that they have so much faith in this because of his clout and what he's done in the past, that no one had the balls to look at him and go, fuck you, get out of my office. I'm not doing this deal. If I was a studio executive, I would have been like, yeah, let me see that contract real quick. And I would have done in his face, be like, so let's take out this budget. We're going to lower that down to like 50 million. That makes more sense for small scale. We can keep the creative control. That's cool. Ooh, this blackout period. Yeah, that's not happening. Like, I would have done that front speech. Like, either you agree to my changes or get the fuck out of my office.
I'd be like, I'm going to give you a $10 budget and you can go buy a bullet and rent a gun and you can shoot yourself in the head because that's never happened.
Yeah, I don't. And the other thing that blew my mind that you forgot, his theatrical window blew my mind. 100-day theatrical window.
Fucking
to really get you to get there for this. Okay, pre-pandemic, 90-day was the standard. Okay, that's pre. So even by pre-pandemic standards, he's going 10 days past the fucking standard.
Dude, so hear this. So 100-day theatrical window. Universal has set up a 45-day theatrical window for its releases moving forward. But Nolan is getting 100 because he's, I guess, God's gift to filmmaking.
And that's what I was about to lead to. Pre was 90. Currently, the standard thanks to pandemic has become 45. And it looks like that's going to stick with a lot of shit going forward. How the fuck did he get away with 100? I would have been like, that would have been another. I would have scratched him like, nope, not 100. I'll give you 45. I was like, I ain't giving you fucking 100, dude.
Honestly, I mean, Universal will make way more money on just like 4 or 5 Blumhouse films than they will with one Nolan movie.
And that's why I don't get how they are so blinded by his name to agree to this. I'm like, all of you studios have other ways to make money. Universal, I know for a fact, based off what I've seen, what you do, you have numerous ways to make money. You have Blumhouse, you have the Fast and Furious franchise. I was like, you have a shit ton of stuff. Yet they got Jurassic Park, which is still thriving. I was like, you guys have a shit ton of movies and franchises on your road that you do not need Nolan. So why did you agree to this?
And F9 made very good money in the pandemic. So it's not like Universal's hurting for cash here.
They're the least hurting for cash. The least. And yet they agreed to this. I would have, I'm telling you, I would have laughed his ass. I would be like, I don't care if you're fucking God damn, I don't care if you're Coppola. Get the fuck out of my office, Nolan. Don't ever come in here with those demands.
Oh my God.
It bugs me that, to me, I really hope this blows up in his face. It reeks of a person that's a child that has shown he doesn't give 2 shits about his fans. He only cares about himself and his art. And I'm doing air quotes because I know no one can see that. His fucking art. He doesn't care about the fans based off how he's acting on the whole tenant situation, not caring that people can't see it because there was a pandemic and people are dying, which now makes me retroactively go back to when The Dark Knight was released, or Dark Knight Rises, in the Aurora shooting. Did he give any shits about those poor souls that died seeing a fucking Batman movie? Because I'm sorry, I love movies. I'm not dying for your fucking movie, Nolan, or any movie, as much as I love movies.
This is a man who has never been told no in his entire career. And he doesn't know how to handle that, so he freaks the fuck out. And here he is, devising a way that he can't be told no. And that's fucked up. Oh.
You could have the balls to say no and be like, you humble yourself and then come back to us. Because we're not agreeing to these demands. But nope, it worked. He got his fucking demands. He's going to get a 6-week period from the studio where nothing else can get released by the same studio. He's going to get a 100-day theatrical window for a movie that I hope to God at this point flops. He's getting his small scale budget of $100 million. Like, he hasn't made Memento and Following and all these other fucking low budget films early in his career. He's clearly, along with also, like I said, he's clearly forgotten his roots. Like, it's very evident he does not remember his roots anymore. And the only way I'm going to watch this movie is for this show. I will not do it on my own terms. If it's not a main part of the show, I'm not seeing a fucking movie by Nolan anymore.
I got you. I wonder what Jonathan has to say about this.
I don't know, because I'm sorry wrong if Jonathan's the more sensible one. But yeah, no, I won't see his film at the theaters. I'll wait the fucking 100 days for Netflix or something.
I want to watch somebody's videotaped bootleg of his movie just to spite him.
Yeah. That I'm sure we'll talk about here in a minute, but like these other guys are bitching about their fucking streaming movies. I'm not seeing the movies in theaters. I'm streaming that shit.
Yeah, and that's a great segue. So Dune director Denis Villeneuve saw fit to insult the filmmakers of the MCU and all its fans by belittling the films, saying, quote, "Perhaps the problem is that we are in front of too many Marvel movies that are nothing more than a cut and paste of others. Perhaps these types of movies have turned us into zombies a bit. But big and expensive movies of great value, there are many today. I don't feel capable of being pessimistic at all." In other words, every blockbuster but mine can suck my French dick because Dune is God. That is what he's saying. Yeah. And I love that, Neil Blomkamp straight up just said, "What a fucking asshole." I love that.
Yeah, I was reading that on IGN. They were they pulled up the Scott Derrickson tweet where he was like, "I guess this has to come back out again. I wasn't expecting these." And he retweeted what he said to Scorsese originally, which was basically "Hey, don't shit on other directors. We're trying to do what we like. This is what we like." He goes, "It's hard to make movies, so don't shit on our directors. Praise them that they even got this movie made." I love
the irony that he is shitting on the Marvel franchise while he's about to start a sci-fi fantasy franchise of his own. That is a remake.
Yeah, which I wonder,
cut and paste, if you will.
I wonder if he's doing that because there's worry that it won't do too hard, especially with how the HBO Max, the actual stuff has been met at the box office as of late. I wonder if he's worried and trying to lash it out as if it's going to change anything. Because like I said, he's made such a big deal about it that I'm not seeing it in theaters. I'm watching it on HBO Max to piss him off.
He got paid, and Warner Brothers has already all but guaranteed him a sequel regardless. So shut the fuck up and just stop acting like a child because you're not getting all of what you wanted.
Yeah. In the words of Neil Blomkamp, stop being a fucking asshole.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. And also just the MCU is not small potatoes. A lot of people, a lot of actors, filmmakers, producers, screenwriters, they go there to be creative and have fun. And when you shit on that, you are breaking a lot of bridges. Yeah.
And look, don't get me wrong. Adam Green and Joe Lynch have talked about where because of the Avengers success, there was a significant shift in Hollywood that has affected it somewhat negatively. And they know it's harder to get more original stuff out there because, hey, we want stuff that's definitely gonna make money. So there is an argument to be made there. A thoughtful, well-construed debate to be made there that isn't insulting a very successful franchise and its fans.
Yeah. But you know what's not original at all? Fucking Dune.
Yeah, Dune. I don't know. He's saying this. It'd be one thing if he was saying this when he was doing Prisoners or Arrival, but he's saying it when he's doing Dune. I'm David Lynch beat you to this adaptation, buddy.
It's infuriating. And yeah, I mean, if you don't like the MCU, you don't like the MCU. But you got to acknowledge that these are genuine films that a lot of people have poured a lot of work into, that a lot of people connect with. And you can't just throw that away because they're epic films.
Yeah, it's people forget that a lot of these MCU films getting made, and I won't name a certain person who felt differently that I texted about. I think, what is your name from? Bakewater, whatever you came up with. But a lot of people involved with these movies, these directors they get, these writers they get, and the actors, they generally love what they're doing. They're very excited to be connected to this, be doing this. But there is a lot of passion being brought with these movies in every single MCU film. And then, like you said, these movies have touched people. I mean, to the point that I remember when, the news of Stan Lee passing happened, that was a moment. It felt like a moment in history had happened. Even I fucking teared up. I was, when actors came out and did their nice little thing, this franchise, the MCU has touched a lot of people. It's affected kids in a big way. Why shit on that? Why fucking shit on that? And the thing is, they're shitting on it while they're still making the movies that they want to make, which pisses me off. Like when Scorsese said his comment, it's not like Scorsese got denied The Irishman or his upcoming movie with Brendan Fraser. He's still making the movies he wants to make. So why are you bitching about the MCU?
I don't know. Personally, I would love to know what Josh Brolin and Stellan Skarsgård and Zendaya have to say about this, considering they're in fucking Dune and the MCU.
God.
Like, you are literally shitting where you're eating, Denny. So,
yeah.
Like, and Batista, he's in that too. Fucking Polka Dot Man, he's in it.
Yeah, and God bless you. Get Batista the wrong way about the MCU. He'll, especially James, if you involve James Gunn, he'll defend that shit. Everything he has.
It's just incredible that these people they all think they're the greatest filmmaker of all time, and how dare you not watch their movie properly?
Right.
Like,
well, and what really kills me when you say filmmaker, right? Another one, the guy, I'm sure you had, I don't know if you have it in there, but
I do.
David Chase. Okay. I'll let you segue into that then.
Yeah. So while this is all happening, David Chase, creator of The Sopranos and director of The Many Saints of Newark, came out and said the same shit, that he is pissed that this movie is getting an HBO Max release. Of all people, he shouldn't piss off. It's the people who gave him a goddamn career, HBO, where people watch The Sopranos on the small screen since 1999, and you're going to give them shit for making the Sopranos movie a small screen experience? Go to hell, you motherfucker. You greedy son of a bitch.
Can I just say, I have not seen The Sopranos, okay? So I'm not familiar with David Chase's stuff here. Has he done anything outside of this that's been as successful?
Oh, let's find out.
I was like, I know you're the massive fan here, so I'll let you look this one up. Why are you doing that? Yeah, no, thinking of filmmakers, right? You have a guy that had a hit show at HBO come out, right? Made his career. A lot of people love this. I know a lot of people that love Sopranos. I have not seen it because I hate it. I just haven't had a chance to watch it.
Yeah.
That's it. Then to see what he did about that, and like, look, okay, I understand that, like, I know like Malignant and Suicide Squad suffered at the box office because of the simultaneous release, but it's like people are forgetting why they did this. Because of the pandemic, because there was no vaccinations. I know what the argument is now. Well, there's vaccines out. You're right, but a lot of Americans are believing all the stupid conspiracy theories and reading unfactual shit and not getting those vaccines, so there's still an issue.
Yeah. Well, David Chase, he created a couple of nowhere shows in the 90s and the 80s. He was a writer on the Rockford Files, Kolchak the Night Stalker. But The Sopranos is the most successful thing by far that he has ever been a part of.
All right. Then, with that said, not only forgetting that, you have someone that, as we just confirmed, has had the only major success he's had was Sopranos. So why are you trying to piss off the company that commissioned your movie, that said okay to your movie idea for Sopranos prequel? It's to the point that, like I said, you know what? I'm watching it on HBO Max. I still want to see because it looks good, but I ain't seeing it in theaters, dude. You lost my fucking ticket.
I had total plans to see this at the movies, and honestly, I kind of don't want to anymore just because I don't like his attitude.
Yeah, it's like, look, guys, fact of the matter is, I know there was a big outcry when this first got announced by HBO Max, more so because they didn't give anyone heads up. And a lot of people were like, well, how are we going to get paid? And they went back and worked out that with the various directors and actors. And everyone seemed copacetic, right? Everyone seemed happy. To still complain about, and to me, like, kind of go back to Nolan, right? To complain about this still just tells me that you don't give two shits about your audience in this, like, pandemic that we're going through. Like, you don't care. You rather them go out there and potentially die just to see your fucking work of art instead of having the safe bet go home. I understand that these releases are hurting the box office right now. It's only for this year. Like, Warner Brothers and HBO made it very clear that they are not renewing the deal for 2022. So it's like, can you just shut the fuck up for the 1 year they're doing it and then be happy next year onward when we go back to theatrical only releases?
It's a bunch of spoiled brats who are being told not even no, just you can't have everything. And they're freaking the fuck out about that. They're still getting their movie released in theaters. People are still going to see it. They're still getting paid, but it's not perfect. And they're shitting their pants over not perfect. It's infuriating.
I mean, God, that's why I was so happy to see that James Gunn quote when he talked about like people were having that debate because of the Suicide Squad box office. And he's like, look, I didn't see Jaws on the big screen. He goes, I saw it on TV. He goes, yes. He goes, I think he was basically like the theater is important. He goes, movies should get released in theaters because that's the best way to see them. But not everyone's going to see your movie that way. And there's nothing wrong with not seeing it that way.
Especially when the world is on fucking fire. They're not doing this just to piss off filmmakers. They're doing this because we are in the middle of a goddamn plague.
Yeah. It's like, that's why they're doing it. That's why it pissed me off for Paramount when they just said, we rather just be greedy and only want our shit in theaters. So we're just going to keep pushing it back. It's like, don't you have a fucking Paramount Plus, you fucktards? Like, how about this? All of this has made me so mad because it's just showing how much they don't care about the audience. It's like, just release it simultaneously. Fucking even Halloween caved, and it's getting that Peacock release as well. Like, look,
they think we're just a bunch of donkeys and they can strap a fucking barrel of oats to our face and we'll just eat it. They don't care about making it good. They don't care about making it accessible. All they care about is fucking eat it and shut up.
Yeah, and it's like they are, and I'm sure they're trying to look at like the movies that have been theatrical, like Marvel that made Shang-Chi made a shit ton of money. I'm like, okay, but that's not every movie. I was like, MCU I was like, you have to think from a serious perspective. They are looking at all these movies on what can we risk being theatrical only. MCU we can risk because people were short. And even Kevin Feige said the comment that like if this didn't do well at the box office, Eternals would have gotten the Disney premiere thing as well, but it did. So even the movies that are getting like theatrical releases, the studios are heavily looking at them to see if they do good.
Just out of curiosity, I'm going to look up Shang-Chi's current box office gross. As of now, it has grossed $320 million worldwide.
Yeah, it's doing actually pretty good.
Yeah, it's doing good for like 2006. But you know what? A win is a win. We have to reevaluate what a victory is these days. So take it.
Yeah. And to these three filmmakers, shut the fuck up. At this point, I kind of hope your guys' career just live off your royalties. Stop making shit. Just live off your royalties. I said it.
I'm just picturing Christopher Nolan in like a ratty suit, a little scraggly in his hair on the side of the road in LA, holding up a sign that says like, "We'll direct for food." But only big budget. Like,
if I was like walking around, so I'd be like, "Well, Mr. Nolan, what are your demands?" So I can hear him attempt to say demands again.
It just said like it says, "We'll direct for food," but in small print it says no TV, no indie.
I know I started indie, but I don't know how to go back.
I liked him a lot. He was a good filmmaker. And maybe he still is, but I can tell you that he was really sounding like a shit human being.
He's a shit human being. I haven't seen Tenet yet. Like I said, I didn't really like Dunkirk, so if Tenet doesn't impress me, I'm also going to start thinking his filmmaking quality is declining with the personality that's getting revealed.
Yep.
I'd have to watch Tenet to fully come to that conclusion, though. But again, I did not really like Dunkirk all that much.
You're not going to like Tenet. I can tell you right now. I have a feeling you are not going to like Tenet.
God damn it.
Yeah. I liked it, but I let a lot of shit slide to like it. I know it's weird for me.
Yeah. Wait.
Yeah.
You let that one, but half of the horror movies you watch, you're like, yeah, this can't slide. I will not stand for this.
Tenet was the first like big thing I'd gotten to see at the movies for in a long time. Mm-hmm. I really like John David Washington and Robert Pattinson's performance. The visual effects were fucking amazing. The score was exciting, and the narrative is jumbled as shit, but also you can kind of follow it if you're really paying attention. And yeah, I liked it for the most part.
If I want bonkers. I don't understand what's going on. I'll just watch Malignant again. Way more fun with that movie.
Again, I liked Malignant. You can't use that as fuel for the fire. I liked that movie.
I will still use it just to use it.
God damn it.
You just like it on my level.
Okay, well, that was interesting, that ranting about this shit. Let's get into the movies, the meat of the show. Before we talk Prisoners, let's talk about the other films we got to see this week. First up, Cop Shop. Joe Carnahan's new movie, director of The A-Team, The Gray, Boss Level, some cool shit. And Cop Shop was quite entertaining. I didn't expect this to be kind of a nice surprise. Why don't you take it away?
Yeah, I really usually like Joe Carnahan stuff. So when I saw that this was his new movie, I was like, oh, okay. And it delivered. It gave me everything I usually like about him. I mean, good action scenes, interesting characters, tense dialogue moments, like out there humorous moments that you don't ever expect to happen. They do. So it gave me everything I wanted, and I really, really enjoyed it. I think the guy who played the really psychopathic bad guy, the hitman, cracked me up.
Yeah, he killed it. He was hilarious. Yeah, I thought, Frank Grillo and Gerard Butler worked really well together.
I usually like Gerard Butler in these types of films. I didn't really like when he tried doing like romantic comedies and being that guy. But when he does stuff like this and Gamer and Den of Thieves, I think he is a lot more comfortable and he tends to do a lot better. And I tend to like him in this stuff. So I liked him.
I thought Alexis Louder killed it as the rookie cop. She was great. Her back and forth with both those guys was fantastic. The whole ending with the fucking crazy shootout where she literally dug a magnum slug out of her gut and is just still jumping around and shit. Like, Jesus.
Yeah.
I was impressed.
That was impressive. I liked that part when the dude's at like the window looking at in Gerard Butler. Now see, that's a psychopath.
Oh boy. Yeah. This was a fun movie. This is a theaters exclusive right now, I believe. Might be able to rent it in a couple weeks, theater at home through Prime and Vudu. Definitely worth a watch. It's a fun day.
Yeah, if you like Joe Carnahan's past stuff, like A-Team, Smoking Aces, Boss Level, you'll like this. It's right up there. Really, really enjoyed it.
Yeah, for sure. 8 for me.
Yeah, I give it an 8 as well.
So the next two films you didn't get to see, but I have my own thoughts on.
It's more like I chose not to see them. I'll just say it right now.
You couldn't find the time. I know you desperately wanted to, but just you couldn't nail down an hour and a half. And I understand that.
No,
it's okay. It's okay. I forgive you. I forgive you.
Watched these. I watched Willy's Wonderland and Superhost instead.
I forgive you. My Son, Peacock's first foray into original film, and hopefully their last, because God, what a disaster. James McAvoy, without a script, sounds so intriguing and potentially awesome. The problem is, when you don't have a script, all you tend to do is react. And all of his dialogue is pretty much just, what? No. Yes. Pretty short one-word answers for what's going on in this movie. And the ultimate big reveal is yeah, he got kidnapped by human trafficking. What a shock. We all kind of knew that.
I feel like people forget, because I guess it was like, oh my God, you did it with no script. What an actor. Because I think they look at that era of comedy that we grew up on, like the Will Ferrell and Seth Rogen and shit, and how it was well known that 9 times out of 10, half the jokes you saw were not scripted. That was improv. I was like, but what we forget is that there was a script. It existed so that they could know what the general plot line is and what's going on. And then they were able to go from there. Even in a lot of stuff that's improv, there was scripted dialogue or a scripted scene there. The actor was just able to go off the beaten path in the moment because they had all the necessary stuff with what's happening to do that. If you give them no script and you're just just improv the entire thing, I don't see how that's good for the actor. You're not giving any context what the fuck's happening.
Yeah. The problem is, there's no gradual buildup, no hints, no narrative structure. He's just kind of going through the motions, waiting for somebody else to tell him where to go. And that sucks. He's underused. He doesn't get any opportunity to really shine. I mean, he's good, but he's the only thing really worth talking about this movie. The ending is out of nowhere. It's a remake. The director, Christian Carrion, directed his own movie, 2017's My Son, which followed the same formula, but I think that was a French film. So he did this again. It just didn't work. Weirdly, the first one wasn't very well received either. And I thought this one had critical praise, but I guess it was just the first day. And that praise went away pretty quickly.
Yeah, I've learned, especially being a horror fan, I've learned to be careful when I see like reviews. Like I know, like what is it? I think TIFF happened very recently, so a lot of big horror movies that are about to come out next month, specifically Halloween Kills, got reviewed early, and I have to make sure when I'm reading this, I'm paying attention to get a better gauge of just word it. And again, keep in mind, ultimately, I go in these movies when open mind of if I want for or not. I just like seeing what people say. It's my thing. But like with that, I had to pay attention to see that like the horror community is eating the movie up. Every horror site gave it high praise. Every non-horror site was just literally complaining about the very reason it exists. Like, it's just a movie where he kills a bunch of people and it offers nothing more than that. And all the horror sites, like, that's exactly what people want in Halloween. Like, this is like the 11th, 12th movie. It's exactly what they want.
This Halloween's been out since 1978. This is not new ground. If you're talking about that now, you got to do your homework, buddy.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, it's funny because all the horror sites are actually going the opposite direction, going, guys, this is the meanest, most graphic, just all type of Halloween movie you want. Like, it's just fine. So the point I'm trying to make with that is that, like, I like to, before I watch these, look, because that's happened before, where I see something that gets like early good reviews, then it gets more reviews start coming in and gets a bigger release, and all of a sudden that shit just dips in the complete opposite direction.
Yeah, well, My Son is more of a crime drama, but it's just not worth your time. It's horribly structured, and I give it a 6. And that's for McAvoy's performance alone, pretty much. Just a weird choice to do a film like this, but not pull it off, and not a great start for Peacock in original films.
No, like I said, I really don't understand how not giving your actor a script enhances the performance.
I get that you want to have like the audience and the actor experience twists at the same time, but when you have a twist that's so vague and not exciting, he doesn't react to it.
Well, and you can still pull that off if they have a script. There's plenty of well-known films where they kept the twist a secret from the main actors, so that when they got to that moment, it was a genuine surprise for them. But they still had a script of the air 90% of the film that preceded that moment.
Yeah, don't bother. There's better things to watch on Peacock. Next, The Eyes of Tammy Faye. What a fascinating movie. Televangelism is something I deeply, deeply despise. The ultimate form of religion taking advantage of desperate people. Anyone who claims that they have the answers from God is selling something. They're full of shit. They don't know what the hell they're talking about.
Or, I've seen a horror movie equivalent scenario to this. It can get pretty freaky.
Yeah. Well, so if you don't know who Tammy Faye Baker was, she was the wife of famous televangelist Jim Bakker, who was arrested in the 80s for many counts of fraud and spent a good chunk of time in prison, was released only a few years ago, and is now selling shitty COVID cures that are basically like Vicks Vapo Rub mixed with like some honey or some shit. So he's still full of shit. But Tammy Faye Baker actually...
So there's certain people I know that probably believe that, but I won't go into it here on the recording.
Well, Tammy Faye actually wanted to help people. She thought she had a calling to use God's voice to actually reach out and help people who couldn't help themselves. She had a good goal in mind, but she was too naive and fell in with this crowd of money-making sons of bitches.
So she was a genuinely nice person, is what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly. She reached out to the AIDS community at the height of AIDS. She was a televangelist who brought on an AIDS patient on her show and told people he's human just like us and we should love him. That is amazing. And
also, considering how people treated those, AIDS victims in the 80s,
yeah, she became an icon for the gay community after that. She championed gay rights, donated, started a lot of charities, lost everything when her husband went to prison for fraud. Jerry Falwell, just humongous piece of shit, took over their company, took everything away from her because they had more viewers than he did. So he did some slimy shit and took away their viewing. It's a business, folks. It's not God. It's a business. And Jessica Chastain is the one to beat for Best Actress at the Oscars. Holy shit. It was amazing. It doesn't even feel like Jessica Chastain. It's Tammy Faye Bakker.
Well, see, I remember seeing the trailer for this, and I was like, because I had seen that Jessica Chastain was in the movie. I remember watching the trailer going, "Where the fuck is she? I don't see her." Because they have her so plastered in that makeup.
Mm-hmm.
It took me, man. And then they're like, "No, she's playing Tammy Faye." And I was like, "Oh."
Well, I learned that Tammy Faye Bakker's makeup was permanent. Like her lips, her eyebrows, that was like tattooed on. Like it was her look.
Should the Dolly Parton thing and just kept it maintained forever?
Yep. But it was fascinating. Andrew Garfield was incredible as Jim Bakker. Great performance. Vincent D'Onofrio killed it as Jerry Falwell, just a bastard. And she was a fascinating story about people who took advantage of so many people and really just got away with it. Like there's no repercussions for this shit. Yeah, he went to prison for fraud, but it was barely he got out. He's still alive. Pretty sure he was gay too. That comes up. Can't be gay and a televangelist. Can't do that.
Were there performance issues in bed? Is that what we're saying?
That comes up. There's a scene where he's wrestling with a guy and it gets like very heated.
Let's get physical. Physical. Yeah.
But very good movie. I give it an 8. I think it's going to have some interesting. I think it's going to make some buzz come award season. She really was incredible. Yeah, good movie.
Oh, I'll give it a shot. Mainly because I like the actors involved and my recent kind of coming to terms with my own disillusionment, if you will, religion. I'll give it a shot.
I hope you like it. I think, I had an interesting, because I have never given a shit about religion. I've never been interested. I've never had a crisis of faith. I've just never bothered. So I saw this as a biopic of con artists and people who just didn't, used God as a way to prey on the desperate.
Well, I mean, that's what a lot of televangelists are. Like, honestly, a lot of them are like that. I can't think of any good ones. Mine is obviously Tammy Faye here. That's about.
Well, but like my great grandma used to sign over half of her Social Security checks to Pat Robertson and these assholes. And God, it's sad and it's lonely and.
Yeah, they're not getting my fucking money.
No.
Government takes enough out of my paycheck. They're not, no.
So it's a good movie, but it pissed me off many times.
Yeah. Between that and what was the other one you saw that I didn't see? Oh, My Son.
My Son.
Wow, there you go. I'll probably be more apt to check out Tammy Faye before I check out My Son.
Yeah, don't bother with My Son.
Okay. I'll check out Tammy Faye when it hits DVD streaming somewhere.
Here's something I hope I never have to say in the future. My Son is terrible. We'll see. Finally, CRY MACHO, the movie that was originally going to be the big movie of the week. Turns out it was boring as fuck, and I didn't want to spend too much time on it.
And I actually thought, I remember watching the end, I guarantee what's going to happen is I'm not going to like this, but Connor's going to love it. And I was going to be sitting going, oh, yep, yep. Glad you like that. And like, no, we were right. We weren't right. We felt the same.
Yeah. Clint Eastwood, basically doing exactly what Liam Neeson did in January in The Marksman. Going to Mexico, taking a kid, bringing him back. Except him and the kid have no chemistry. There's no real point to it. There's so many different, avenues for this to go down that it never bothers taking. It takes the road very traveled every time.
He keeps bringing those avenues up and then drops them immediately.
91-year-old Clint Eastwood could not take down an able-bodied Mexican federale.
No, I know, like, I remember writing this review trying to be like, all right, I don't want to be too much of a dick here, because, and I was like, on one hand, performance-wise, I thought Eastwood actually still did good performance for 91. He could tell he was doing it, trying. I thought performance-wise he wasn't bad, and we don't know how long we have a good old 91-year-old Eastwood left, and I point out, this guy's an icon. I mean, we all know he's an icon, a legend of cinema. And there is one scene that got me. It was a little moment when he's on the horse teaching the kid how to ride, and he's in his cowboy attire on a horse, and it kind of hit, because it's like, holy shit! Like, if you're familiar with his career, that's like, it's a little moment, but it hits if you're familiar with his career, to me. But the thing is, you have a little moment like that, and the movie doesn't really match up to it, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's the main thing was plot. I think what they should have done is, if this is like, say, his swan song movie, who knows how many films he really has left in him, they should have gone the pig route with this and had this been more of a character study, like how that pig was for Cage, a study on his career ultimately. That's what this should have been for Eastwood. I think it would have done a lot better.
Well, I mean, the director had final say on that, and that was Clint Eastwood. So
yeah. And apparently he would rather not do that. He'd rather have a fling with a 30-something-year-old Hispanic lady, which is, look, I know some people age is just a number. I'm sorry, but she was in her 30s. He's in his 90s. It's kind of gross, because that's how that thing's not working anymore. And then the ending, God, what a fucking terrible ending, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Just, I know your dad's a piece of shit and he lied to me and lied to you, but go over there to Dwight Yoakam.
Yeah. It's either your lying con artist dad or your psycho gangster mom. What do you want? Because I'm not taking you. God.
Yeah, I feel like there was something here to be a real, like I said, I think it had been a character study on Clint Eastwood's character that could have related to his career. It would have worked well. Because if anyone deserved that kind of thing, like a pig type movie more than Cage, it's fucking Eastwood.
Well, I mean, the trailer kind of built it to be that. And that's, I think, what bummed me out the most was just how, like, kind of lazy it was. There's no, like, driving force. Everyone just kind of does shit without any motivation. It just happens. The movie just happens.
There's literally a whole scene with a cop who's not the sheriff, but is the sheriff, isn't okay with him in the town, and that goes literally nowhere. Like, literally just fizzles out. Like, nothing comes of it.
There's a scene where these two cops pull them over for thinking they're drug mules. They don't find drugs, but they still question them, like, what are you doing here? And then they leave and are never seen again.
Yeah, there were scenes when they're trying to make claims would look tough, but you can see his hands shaking because he's an older gentleman now. I'm like, they're not selling me on him being tough because he knows what he looks, his age, if you pay attention. And I don't know. I think for me, another thing was, like, it's like you took the genre that he's synonymous with acting wise with westerns, and then the genre that he is synonymous with directing wise with dramas, and molded together, but gave us every cliche of both those things he's known for. Because this was no different from, like, half the dramas I've sat through of his, which is why I don't watch a lot of his fucking directed movies, because I get tired of watching the same damn thing that he directs.
Ouch. Well, there's a good to fair chance you won't have to do it again.
Yeah, either he's done directing or, we'll be doing an in memoriam at some point.
That'll feel surreal when we lose Clint Eastwood.
That's why I said that thinking about that and seeing that scene when he's on the horse and the cowboy tired, that was the one moment where it was like, this is what your movie should have been. Yeah. Right there. And this little moment that personifies everything we know about this fucking icon of cinema was in that one moment and then nothing else.
Yeah, real bummer. Well, I give it 6. It's unfortunate.
I give it a 6 also.
Well, with all that, we did get one movie that honestly I will not forget. Prisoners of the Ghostland, directed by Japanese director Sion Sono, who is known for his Japanese productions Cold Fish, Suicide Club, Why Don't You Play in Hell, Love Exposure, and Tokyo Vampire Hotel. Obviously, I've seen none of these movies, but
I haven't even seen this one. My introduction.
Man's got a style, that's for damn sure. He's this film is art directed within an inch of its life.
Yeah, I think I pointed out in my review. This felt like very much a Japanese sensibility type film, but made like an American film.
I believe I said that this is Mad Max, Mandy, what else? Army of Darkness and The Last Samurai kind of molded into a crazy ass blender of a movie. And I wanted this to work so much. I had such high hopes for this that I was really bummed that it ended up being kind of a cliche in the second half. Like, yeah, rebellion. Wow, what a shock.
Yeah, I remember when I think I texted you when I first heard about this movie. I'm very excited. I was like, Bill Moseley, Nicolas Cage, get a movie together. I was like freaking out. And when I was hearing about it, I was like, oh my God, this sounds wild. And I will give this director all the credit for having the audacity to fucking do what he did with this movie with like what he did. I just felt like it didn't all come together plot wise. There's a lot of things that get dropped out of nowhere. A lot of moments where I just kind of really time moves really fast with no explanation. Like apparently at one point when the guy's like, it's been 2 weeks, I was like, when the fuck has it been 2 weeks? It's like, when the fuck did that happen?
I think that, I mean, I've never had a severe injury to the sack, but if one of your testicles explodes, I feel like you're not going to just get up and continue with your day.
No, but that scene made me laugh so much. From the way he was just like creepy, like, oh yeah, when he's coming out of the water, like that's arousing him. Which I'm like, look, okay, don't get me wrong, like it's Sophia Boutella, who's been gorgeous since I've seen her in Kingsman. But dude, you're just giving her water. Like, calm down. Then like his shit explodes and he does like that run circle and then randomly says something in Japanese while holding his ball and just passes out. Like, what just happened?
Well, also the weird ass way he screams, like like the way he screams, like when he yells, he does like it gets higher. He's always done that. It's such an odd way to exclaim.
Only he can do it. It's beautiful.
Yeah. So obviously Oscar winner Nicolas Cage stars as Hero, Hero. He won his Oscar for Leaving Las Vegas, this past weekend's Oscar Sunday episode, and he was nominated for adaptation. He's an actor who's very dear to our hearts. If you listen to our episode on Pig, you would already know that. And since we kind of went through his career then, we're going to not do that now. But he is just mesmerizing. I mean, only he could lose a ball and keep going and then like be super angry about it later with his epic testicle.
I was like, dude, that speech was so good. And only because of that scene, he's like, if you had told me 3 days ago I was standing here with one testicle, like he holds it out.
I have no way to explain what this is. This movie is such a mind fuck that you gotta watch it. It's the only way.
It's high fucking yaw. That's what it is.
I will karate chop you. I fucking yaw.
He said it twice too. That was good. Hi fucking yeah. Hi fucking yeah.
Why did he get out of the car and take the bicycle? Why did that happen?
It was supposed to be like this act of defiance against the governor, which was the best. Honestly, I thought that was so funny because the way he looks at him and he runs to the bike, like, oh, I'm not taking your fucking car. I'm taking the bike. You know, the comments, he's so cool. He's so badass. I remember actually seeing that same thing and okay, I know what movie I'm watching. I'm not supposed to take this seriously. But then as it just kept going, I was like, you have moments where you're like, you're hitting this tone that works perfectly for the movie, like the bike scene, yelling out testicle. But anytime you stray from that, it's when I'm kind of bored.
Yeah.
Like those moments that we're talking about, what to me, had they really leaned into those and made that like hit that kind of level throughout the movie, this would be probably my favorite fucking Nicolas Cage from this year.
Yeah, it could have been. Sophia Boutella plays Bernice, the runaway. Boutella has appeared in Star Trek Beyond, Kingsman: The Secret Service, Atomic Blonde, and The Mummy, the shitty one.
So her best film is still, what am I thinking? Oh, Star Trek Beyond, and for the guys, technically Atomic Blonde for one particular scene.
Oh yeah, I had completely forgotten about that movie.
I haven't forgotten about that scene. So
I don't know. Kingsman, I think, is her best movie just because, you know, by proxy. I mean, she's not really amazing in it, but it's an amazing movie.
I do really like Kingsman. I would just say for her, like acting wise, by Star Trek Beyond, because she actually had a lot of shit to do in that movie.
True. Oh, excuse me. Honestly, I don't get why she couldn't talk and why she suddenly can talk. All that didn't make any damn sense.
That they didn't really follow up on that. I was like, at first I was like, oh, okay. Then I was like, wait, no, okay. And then she did talk to the thing, and it, like, I guess there was still like days left, which I thought had she talked into it and unlocks it or whatever. And I was like, okay. But yeah, honestly, her character wasn't really needed.
Yeah. She's more of a prop than she is a character.
Yeah.
Horror icon Bill Moseley plays the governor of Samurai Town. Moseley has appeared in House of a Thousand Corpses, Devil's Rejects, Three from Hell, 1990s Night of the Living Dead, and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, among others. And I felt he was really subdued. I was hoping he was going to be kind of a psycho, like a samurai Negan kind of guy. He gave it, like, he himself was good. You can tell he was really working with what he had. Yeah.
But I was hoping for more, especially because, like, you saw hints of it. Like, I remember seeing hints throughout the movie of, like, Otis when he got real angry. You know, like, I was talking, like, there were moments where I was, like, going back to that scene in Devil's Rejects that I love. To this, like, one of my favorite scenes when he's like, you want to see badass, motherfucker? I'll show you badass, and, like, fucks that dude up. But it's like he gets there, and then I don't know if it's the script or like the direction one, then he kind of dials it back down. I was like, oh, come on. Let Moseley works really good if you just let him unleash that insanity that he's so good at.
Yeah, which is why I was kind of bummed that this movie, I think its biggest problem is it does take itself too seriously. It doesn't use this wacko premise to the full extent. It just kind of tells you, like, this is the world we're in. Now deal with it. But we don't get any kind of, release with that. And that's a bummer.
That's what I say. Is like those few scenes, like you mentioned, with him just taking the bike or just ball getting blown off. Like, it's like those were the hints of like what I wanted that film to be. Of it embracing an over the topness that would have worked again, especially because those moments felt like that's when I was talking about with the Japanese sensibilities of filmmaking. This random wackadoo shit that just happens. That it's almost like he was trying to mesh it with American filmmaking and it didn't quite mesh together.
Yeah. Them's the breaks. Prisoners of the Ghostland has an IMDb score of 4.4, not exactly acclaimed. Rotten Tomatoes score of 66%, but I think a audience score of like 40 something. Getting pretty mixed reviews, has a limited theatrical release and is currently available to rent on Prime Video for about $8. Any other highlights you want to bring up? Honestly, I don't remember most of it. Like I remember the first half, but after that, I kind of like was zoning out.
Were you kind of hoping for more on like both the Ghostland as that the town as it was, but also the ghosts that the prisoner ghosts that don't get a whole lot of agency in the story? Because I was wanting more of that.
Yeah, you're gonna bring ghosts into this goddamn world. You better pay off. Like I want to see. I was expecting like no holds barred. Japanese Mad Max. Like what happened here? Like how did this world become so fucking weird? Mixtures of cowboys and Japan, but everyone had iPhones. But like, what is this? It was like all of history happening at the same time.
History just splooged on itself. What's funny? I to prep for this, I watched the other 2021 Cage release I had yet to see, thanks to the appointment. Willy's Wonderland, which I walked into that thinking, okay, this probably won't be that good. You're not even going to let Cage speak in this movie, which as much as I end up liking that movie, that is still a weird choice. I don't understand why they did it. But I actually ended up liking that film more. Like I had a ton of fun with Willy's Wonderland because, okay, it had a wacky concept and it fully leaned into it. It fully embraced it and paid it off big time in the movie. It was basically like it took its concept of like, we're going to put Nick Cage in a Five Nights at Freddy's situation. He's going to beat the living shit out of these things and kill them. And it completely delivered on that. But it just felt like it was like, this is what you're going to get, but we're going to hold back a little bit.
It was so ambitious, but you need more than just, the occasional flicker of satire for this to work. And that's I feel like this was an unfortunate misfire that I was really excited about. And I'm giving it a 7. And that's pretty much for, testicle. And I wonder what my neighbors think about hearing that through the walls.
Is it also because of the cage ass you get at the beginning of the movie? Is that also leading into the 7?
I was surprised we didn't just see his full dick and balls. I'm surprised we didn't see that. I was expecting that.
Same here. I saw when he came out, I was like, oh, we're getting a cage ass. Was not prepared for this moment.
I was fully expecting to see H.I. McDonough and the Ghost Riders. But thankfully, I don't have to have that seared into my brain.
Watch this. Cage, because he decided to bare his ass for the camera, he's thinking, I can do it all now.
Oh, boy. He came out recently and said, I'm never retiring. I'm having too much fun. So we're going to get Cage movies for a very long time, hopefully.
You know what? Ultimately, even if it's not that good, I'm happy for. Like, it's goddamn Nicolas Cage. Like, bring it on. I want to see you run around somewhere with a ball in your hand, yelling about how I got blown off, and then uttering some random fucking Japanese that you probably learned from your Japanese wife.
Oh yeah, he met his wife. He met his like 5th wife on the set of this movie, didn't he? God damn.
I wonder if that's why he said that Japanese line. Because that's what really threw me off. Not the running around like screaming in circles. When he held it up, said whatever the fuck he said in Japanese, and then passed out. I was like, wait, what? So what just happened?
Well, not a great week, man. I was, it's COPSHOP and Tammy Faye, and those are the 2 movies I was not expecting to, wow me that much this week. I put too much faith in CRY MACHO and Prisoners of the Ghostland. And yeah.
Like I said, man, this is until we hit October, because like personally, I'm not really all that jazzed for what's coming out this upcoming weekend. Both obviously in the theater more so than Netflix, but Netflix is so fucking, its track record speaks for itself.
Well, with this show, we don't get to make the schedule. It's not up to us.
Hey, even with Filmgazm now, because we do those 1 episode, we don't make the schedule. The book does. And as you learn, it's not always a good pick. Which, for the record, I did not like the movie that much. Okay?
Yeah, I noticed after the episode came out of Last Shift, your Letterboxd went from 3 stars to 2.5.
I know what you're talking about.
Hey,
I did not like the movie that much. It had a few freaky moments, and I thought the lead was good. But besides that, I was like, what the fuck's going on in this fucking movie?
I didn't want to do it on the show. The book told me to. And hopefully the next pick, which we can actually do when we're done here, is going to be better. But you never know. As I often say, the book taketh, the book giveth, the book taketh away. I'm tired.
It's supposed to take it, and it kind of giveth.
Yeah. But thankfully, we got Austin's pick coming up this week. This is all Filmgazm, by the way, y'all, if you only listen to one of our shows.
I like how we pretty much have digressed talking about our schedule right now.
I don't care. Like, I can shit on Christopher Nolan and talk about my week. This is the best. I don't answer to anybody. So thanks for listening, everybody. Next week's big release is the High School Musical Dear Evan Hansen, which is getting pretty annihilated by critics. Also, much more importantly, we don't really want to see it. So we're going to likely skip it, focus on 2 Netflix releases also coming out on Friday. The Starling, starring Melissa McCarthy and Kevin Kline, and Intrusion, starring Frida Pinto and Logan Marshall Green. Going to be a slow weekend, which is rare these days for the sneak preview. But, we work with what we got. Maybe we'll surprise y'all and do some top 10 thing. I don't know.
Give me a heads up so I can.
No, I'm going to tell you day of, like an hour before we start recording, and you're going to wing it.
Don't you? You know what? I'm real famous for winging it sometimes. So,
top 10 Christopher Nolan movie moments.
Go fuck yourself.
Oh boy.
Don't you sing this, Shami. You know for a fact the next 2 or 3 days I'm gonna be on the road. That's gonna take up at least half my week.
So you're gonna have plenty of time to think about it. That's what you're telling me.
No.
I don't know. Well,
actually, you know what? Probably, I'm trying to do like the desert part of good old the United States, so it's not going to exactly be exciting out there.
Well,
making my way to Texas for the fans are wondering.
Well, we will. I'm thinking. More about it. I feel like our discussion on these movies is going to take 10 minutes, so maybe we will do some sort of countdown. I'll brainstorm. We'll see you next week for that. Be sure to check out Uncut Gems on Wednesday's Filmgazm and the animated Western Rango on Oscar Sunday. Have a great week. Keep watching movies.